Good evening all, and welcome to Boxing Day and another video on All Howdy Ale. As I'm sure you can tell by the screen behind me, this is my traditional Beer of the Year 2021 countdown. And these are beers that are not necessarily new to market, they are just new to me this year. And by this year, I mean December 2020 through to the end of November 2021. So we're going to fire off straight into number 10 with a brewery that was brand new to me this year. They hail from North Yorkshire, and they are Helmsley Brewing Co. and their Saison. This beer was absolutely amazing. It had just the right amount of funk to it for a Saison. It had a beautiful body, beautiful carbonation, and just overall beautiful, beautiful flavour. It's in a fantastic little village. If you ever get the chance to go to Helmsley, definitely give the brewery a visit, and hopefully you can pick up a few beers while you're there. You can try them on tap in the brew house, and indeed you can take away as well. Going in at number 9, again, is another brewery that was new to me this year. These are a pretty big brewery, really, and I'm surprised I've not tried them before. It is Hook Norton and Off the Hook. This one was quite literally off the hook in terms of flavour. It was big, it was bold, it was hoppy, and it was generally all round delicious. If you haven't given them a try, definitely do. It's well worth your while just hunting down the beer and giving it a bash. Coming in at number 8, it's the one and only lager that's going to appear on the list. This one was given to me by a real nice guy to try. He gave me some beers that were favourites of his. And this one is not overly expensive, but it's a tasty beer nonetheless. It is the Balticus number 7 Premium. It had so much flavour for a lager, as well as having a really bizarre bottle cap. It's kind of like a ring pull, but then it kind of looks like a normal bottle cap. But the beer itself was so good. It had beautiful Saaz hops. It had a beautiful body to it as well. It was utterly delicious. If you can get hold of it, I definitely recommend giving it a try. I believe you can get this one from the likes of Home Bargains and places like that. And it really was a good bargain because it cost me absolutely nothing to try. So thank you again, Mozza, for that beer. It was amazing. Thank you. Coming in at number 7, this is another brewery that was new to me. It is Woods Brewery's Shropshire Lad. If you like your traditional bitters with just smooth, well-executed flavour, then this one is utterly up your street. It has all those dark fruit flavours of a nice bitter. It has a subtle bitterness on the back end. Very tasty beer indeed. Coming in at number 6, again, a brewery that was brand new to me, surprisingly. It's a beer that is, how can we put it, in direct competition with Stokes Finest. Now, Stokes Finest doesn't appear on this list because it's not new to me this year, but you'll know exactly which beer I mean. This beer is Batemans Dark Fruit Porter. This is utterly sublime. It's thick, it's juicy. No, it's not juicy. It's fruity. It's got berries throughout. It's utterly delicious. And at this time of year in December, when it's cold and miserable, this is the exact kind of beer that you want to warm the cockles of your heart. Sitting by a nice warm fire, enjoy it, and definitely get some if you haven't tried it already. Coming in at number 5, this one is a firm favourite of many. It's a classic in the bitter world. It is Acorn Brewery's Barnsley Bitter. This one was utterly mind-blowing. It was so smooth, so delicious, and just so well executed. It's one that kind of really made me sit up and think when I finished the pint was, I've got to have some more of this, and I've got to get to the brewery at some point to try it on cask where it's made. If you haven't tried it, definitely do. So, 4th position is another new brewery to me this year. It was Castle Rock Screech Owl. This was so big and flavoursome, it could have hit the top 3 quite happily. In fact, anything from kind of position sort of 7 or 6 upwards, it was such a fight to decide on the decision. But this one just kind of had to creep towards the top because it was so full of flavour. It was bitter, it was super hoppy, it had a little hint of everything that I love in an IPA, and it was utterly divine. If you haven't tried it, definitely do. And we hit the top 3. So we're coming in at number 3. This is a brewery that I've had many beers from, just not this particular one, and I cannot understand why. Once I tried it, it was one that I knew would feature regularly on my drinking rota, and I must get to the brewery to try it on cask. It is Black Sheep Brewery's Rig Welter. It's got so much flavour and so much body. It's the kind of beer that gets me genuinely excited. It just sends little tingles down your spine. So rich, so decadent, and just utterly wonderful. So yeah, if you haven't tried it, which there can't be many traditional beer drinkers that haven't tried it, I must have been one of the very few left in the world. Definitely give it a try. Okay, so we come to number 2, the silver medal position. This brewery is but 5 minutes from my house. They are arguably my favourite brewery, and they make a range of beers that are superb. This one came in quite like a wrecking ball. I know, it's a bad joke. It is Titanic Brewery's Wreckage. It's a 7.2% ABV dark beer that just commands respect for everything that it is. It's heavyweight, it's fruity, it's rich, it's complex, it's warming, it's boozy. It does everything that I want it to. If you've tried Captain Smith's, just imagine that amplified, and then, you know, double your expectation, and that's where you end up with the Wreckage. It's so good. And with a beer that good, what possibly could make it to number 1? This brewery has featured on this list already today, and it's a brewery that is not anywhere near where I live. It is in North Yorkshire. It is Helmsley Brewing Co's HIPA. I was utterly blown away with this beer. In fact, that's an understatement. It was so full of flavour. I could not believe that a beer from a brewery that small, and that people tend not to have heard of, unless, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I'd never heard of Helmsley Brewing Co. before I went to North Yorkshire earlier in the year when all our restrictions were lifted, and I'm so glad that I did. I was slightly disappointed that it only had 2 beers available on the day to take away, but hey, you know, we're in the middle of a pandemic still, and you know, we were able to luckily get these 2. I've got the HIPA and the Saison, but this one, it was so big in flavour. It had bitterness, it had a resinous nature, the body was superb, and it's just an utterly amazing beer. So yeah, definitely get yourself some Helmsley Brewing Co. HIPA if you haven't tried it already. I intend to get more when I can. Luckily, I've got my mum who lives up in North Yorkshire, so I've got a damn good excuse to go to the brewery. And yeah, there we go. It's an amazing beer. Give it a try. So, ladies and gents, boys and girls, whilst you're stuffing down probably your 2nd or 3rd turkey dinner by now, and probably bursting at the seams, this seems as good a point as any to say thank you very much for watching every little video that you've watched this year. Your viewing has been very much appreciated, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed, liked and commented on the videos this year. You're amazing, every single one of you. And yeah, enjoy some great beer in 2022, and I will see you again soon for another video. Take care.